Welcome back to another episode of the Cat's Corner, your inside look at Novi hockey. I'm Casey Campbell, along with Dane Baruzini, the head hockey coach at Novi. I'm live from the locker room. How's it going?
It's going well, Casey. Yeah, it's you caught me at kind of locker room time. I'm normally here, well before practices, well before games, get everything set up. So it's thought I'd show you a little bit of the locker room, but not too much. We're gonna make you come to Novi, to get the full tour.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can't wait for that.
Oh yeah.
So obviously, not obviously 2 games this week, last week, not what you wanted, but overall, progress. Let's talk about this week. How did this week go compared to, weeks prior?
Yeah, we're not going to scoreboard watch. We're not going to just track our progress and wins and losses based on, the score. Of course, we want to come out of there winning at least one of those two. But we had great effort in both games. We controlled our controllables, was a big thing we're working on. We got better every single shift, every single period in both those games. I look at that Stevenson game. We had 4 breakaways, 3 of them shorthanded. That if one of those, start to fall for us, that changes, kind of the flow and momentum of that game. And just didn't, we're in a scoring drought right now. Haven't scored a goal in 4 games. I mean, the Northville games last time we scored a goal. So we're gripping the stick a little bit tight. But we had some great attitude. We had just an outstanding, effort in both games from our team, controlling our controllables, continuously getting better, making each team, earn that victory. And in that Cranbrook game, I mean, that was tight down to the wire. We lost 3-0, that third one being an empty netter. But we killed 5 or 6 penalties in that game, had great scoring chances, got really nice goaltending play. We only gave up 2 goals from our goaltender on that side, really strong defensive, end. And, at the end of the day, we're still a little snake bit on the goal scoring. And, we know that's going to come, but, we left that week really positive. A much better, week from us, from practice, from game, from all of it compared to the week before. That's our goal, is every day we're better, every week we're better. We've still got 18 games before playoffs, and it's our goal is to continue getting better for that. We don't want to be preseason champs. We don't want to be first 7 of the games of the year champs. We want to give ourselves a chance to compete in regionals. And with our effort and the way we're going about it, we're definitely making that a priority, and we're going to be able to do that.
Okay, now it's time for Dane's 3 stars of the week.
Okay, I'd say third star is just the team in itself. I mean, we're in that adversity moment right now. We're kind of at that bottom, and it's dark. And instead of panicking, we're kind of figuring out why we're here and how we're going to get out. You can be a learner, or you can panic. And this group is resilient. They continue to learn. They continue to just slowly pull themselves out of this. And I mean, it's positivity throughout the group. You've got 8 seniors, you've got 2 freshmen, you got 12, sophomore and juniors, and all of those young men continue to show that those resiliency, muscles, and they're positive, they're working hard, they're buying into the process. They understand that this is a process, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. We're not trying to accomplish it all today. So the team definitely is the third star. Number 2, I would say the bus drivers. We had 2 great bus drivers. They were fully ready. Nice thing is we were only going to Eddie Edgar for both games, but they were fully prepared. They were equipped. They were ready for us. They got us there safely. They got us home safely. And the number 1 star, I mean, we're going to that Cranbrook game, is our goalie, Henry Letman. Had his best showing of the season. He was mentally sharp, stayed really in tune, gave the boys a chance to win. That's all you can ask from your goaltenders. And anytime you give up 2 goals, you hold Cranbrook to 2 goals, you're really performing well. So, those are our 3. It's the team, the bus driver, and then Henry on that Saturday effort, that all, did everything they could to get us the win.
I also want to, I did this, we just, an hour ago, we just taped Highlander Hockey with Rocky. That is the Howell Hockey Coaches show that we do. And also I want to give a credit, as I did on here, to to Livonia Stevenson and how the event that they put together every single year. David Mitchell and everybody at Livonia Stevenson, just it's all first class, taking care of all of us, the coaches, the scouts, the media, the players, everybody. Just a great job that they do every single year. So I got to go for the first time to Eddie Edgar. That was a fun event. I had a pretty fun day watching a lot of hockey. I got to read a lineup too. More on that later. But it was fun. It was good to see all the teams in the KLAA and MIHL, the two best conferences, I think, in high school hockey here in Michigan. So a lot of fun hockey, and just want to give a shout out to everybody at Stevenson for just a great event. So
Yeah, I
um,
completely agree with that. I mean, it was great seeing you there, Casey. But for me, I look at what Coach Mitchell's done over there to build this thing. He's got his brother Paul, his sister Kim involved as well. And for those that may just attend, I don't think they understand how many volunteers from Livonia Stevenson are there. I mean, you've got former assistant principals. Shout out Mr. Gibbons. He's there. He's kind of the ambassador, of the event. There's current, administration and staff. There's just alumni from the high school that are there being a part of this. And of course, you've got Looney Baker just bringing those awesome donuts.
yeah,
But it was such a first class event. They do an outstanding job. I mean, from Coach Mitchell all the way through everybody helping support that. And then also, of course, media members like you. I know that the state champs crew is out there. Sean Belesian read our lineup card. Petey was there. I mean, Bill Kahn was there. Tim Eric was there. All the scouts. I mean, everybody there that contributes to that event. I mean, when you walk through the doors, you feel it. I know our guys did. I know talking to other coaches, their teams felt it as well. And, top to bottom, everybody involved. I mean, just did an outstanding job making that Saturday just really special for everybody, all the players, all the coaches, everybody. So it was just outstanding.
yeah, for sure. All right, let's time for this week's KLAA hockey update. We're going to update all the games that happened at Eddie Edgar. There were 10 of them, and started out with how about Canton getting that big win against Gibraltar Carlson 3-2. They came all the way back to get the win. Good win for those guys. Port Huron Northern got a big win against Plymouth. Scored 3 goals in the last minute and 30 seconds. What a big win for them. How about the Stallions getting a big win after a tough loss to Howell on Friday, 5-1, to come back and beat Grosse Pointe South 5-2. Of course, Cranbrook beat Novi 3-0. U of D Jesuit beat Salem 8-2. Warren De La Salle picked up a win against Northville 3-0. Orchard Lake St. Mary's beat Howell 4-3 in a shootout. Heartland beat Brother Rice 3-1. Trenton beat Livonia Stevenson in a shootout 4-3, and then Detroit Catholic Central beat Brighton 7-1 to close out a pretty good day of hockey. 10 games. What does it say about these two conferences getting together? And what really impressed you out of all these teams and you getting to see?
I think for the conferences, it just shows, I mean, how many great hockey programs there are. I think beyond just the play, I think, the coaching of all those teams you mentioned are just top notch. When you look at all the scouts that showed up, there's a lot of interest in high school hockey. We talk about it being different here. And when you get the KLA and MAHL together, it really shows that. What really stood out to me is just the resiliency of teams. I mean, you mentioned, Coach Medell leading that Canton team when they were down 2-0 to come back and win 3-2. I mean, that's a huge one. I know Coach Dallas, it didn't go his way at Plymouth, but I mean, for Port Huron Northern with a minute and a half left to score 3 goals. I mean, the final goal with 4 seconds left to win it. There's just a lot of resiliency and parity, between these two conferences. It's just never quit hockey. They're constantly going. I firsthand got to watch that Port Huron Northern Plymouth final. I mean, they skated right before us. But then, you mentioned the Red Stallions, bouncing back after a tough loss to Howell, getting that big win. And I even look at Howell. I mean, Coach Rocky and that team, I mean, with a really tough fight. I think it went to 5 or 6 rounds in the shootout.
Yeah.
Against the best teams in the state, Orchard Lake St. Mary's. I mean, there is no quit in any of these teams. I know Stevenson, Trenton, same thing. They went to overtime. There's a lot of competition, a lot of similarities between all the teams. And, it's why between our two conferences, we've won, I think it's 90% of the state championships in the last 10 years. It's the place to be if you're a high school hockey team.
Absolutely. All right, now it's time to preview the upcoming week for Novi. The road trip continues for you guys as you will head to Lakeland to take on the Eagles over there. And then of course on the 15th on I believe it's Friday. You're back
Friday.
Hosting Birmingham United from the OAA.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a good week for us. 2 really quality teams. Lakeland's playing some really nice hockey right now. They're riding a nice winning streak. They lost a 1-goal game to Trenton, and then they just kind of picked it right back up. They got a lot of nice talent. They're a well-coached team. I mean, playing in that Lakeland arena is never easy. You know, there's a definite home ice advantage there. So we're looking forward to the challenge. You know, it's been a challenging road for us. We want to run a gauntlet. You know, that gets us ready for February. And then, you know, you move over to Friday. It's our one home game of December. It's a big
Yeah.
game for us. It's a elementary school night. We're doing a teddy bear toss charity for, you know, anybody that comes in. If you're coming to Novi on Friday, bring a teddy bear. It's free admission with a new teddy bear. And then, you know, if we score a goal, when we score that first goal, we're going to throw all the teddy bears on the ice. We collect them. We're going to donate them to Mott's Children's Hospital. But you know, it's going to be a good game. I know Coach Warson personally. He's a friend of mine. They're a well-coached team. I mean, if there's one thing I can tell you about the BU Kings is they're going to come out, they're going to compete. They're going to be really hard to play against in all three zones. And you know, Coach Warson's going to make this a hard one for us. You know, he's going to do everything he can to make sure we don't get a win. So it's going to be a good battle, kind of getting us, you know, ready for that, you know, last stretch of games this month. But we're excited for the week ahead. You know, we got two quality opponents with some high, you know, high profile players and well coached teams. So yeah, it's going to be a good one for us. It's nice to get some non-conference games. We've had a really tough KLA gauntlet, but just because they're not KLA teams doesn't mean they're not going to be easy. They're going to be easy games. They're two of the top, you know, teams in their respective conferences, and you know, we're looking forward to that challenge.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Cat's Corner. Thank you so much for joining us. Tune in next week when we recap those games and we preview next week's games against Canton and Father Gabriel Richard. Both games are on the road before closing out before the Christmas break, and then after that it's up to the UP for these guys. So it'll be a fun few weeks for you guys, and we'll obviously talk about that next week, and we'll see when we see you in the Cat's Corner.